Deciding where to invest in Cleveland, Ohio can be challenging, especially if you're a long distance real estate investor. Getting a real time view of the market is tough without having boots on the ground. That's why we built a neighborhood grade map to give you an edge for finding real estate deals in up and coming neighborhoods. I'm going to walk you through it and even a specific deal for Cleveland. My name is Ariel Herrera, your fellow data scientist with Coffee Closers, a powerful analytics platform to help you find cash flowing deals in minutes. If you want to see more deep dive market analytics, then please like this video and I'll make more content like it. All right, let's get started. Cleveland, Ohio is one of the hottest markets to invest in right now is due to affordability. Here in our housing market statistics app, which you could use for free below, we have a quick view of what the market looks like in real time. Here we could see for Cleveland, there's about 860 listings, and the properties on average are about 130K, which is pretty affordable across the US. Here in our map, we could see concentrations of where prices are higher and where prices are also lower. We could also look into cash flow. So this is one of the most important reasons why Cleveland has so much hype around it is because you can typically make one of the best returns across the nation. Median cash on cash is 10% here, with the median estimated rent being almost $1,400, which means that a high percentage of properties, practically half, meet the 1% rule. So you can be cash flowing from day one. But you may be thinking, is Cleveland the right area to invest in? And what's coming to the market? If we use an LLM like Gemini, we can ask questions like, does Cleveland have any new development projects? And if so, where? So when I asked Gemini, it said that Cleveland is undergoing a period of significant development. Here we could see there's a lot of development happening in downtown with buildings being revitalized. But the one that's probably the most eye-catching is Cheers, Cleveland Harbor Eastern Embayment Resilience Strategy. They're putting about $300 million into redeveloping the waterfront for downtown Cleveland. As we've seen for a lot of different cities across the nation, when you're able to revitalize our waterfront, it brings people into the area. They're able to walk around it, more businesses open. So this could be a really great thing for Cleveland. So let's imagine we want to explore Cleveland in more detail and actually look at the properties. Can we find cash flowing ones? Well, if we use coffee closers, Cleveland is actually one of our 50 free cities on a free trial. On your view, there's two sides to it. On the left-hand side are listings, and the right-hand side is our maps. So what makes our map so special is that we account for different data sources, not just economic. Let me explain a bit more. So here we could see there's some pockets of C minus D areas, some B to C plus, and then some A closer to the water. I'm going to zoom in a bit here, and I'm going to click this one neighborhood, also known as the census tract, here. And we could see it's a B, but it is surrounded by some D, C minus areas. Why is that? So we could see that there's a symbol here called recent new build growth, which I'll explain in one moment. But first, what you're going to see in a lot of maps are economic data stats, which come from the US Census. So for example, we could see here the median household income in this neighborhood, in this tract, is about $40,000, which is 44% below the state average. So this tells me that this area has lower income in comparison to state averages, as well lower unemployment, lower education, and so on. Why do these matter? Well, this can also give you a better picture of what type of tenants you may have, as well the riskiness level of being able to get payments on time. Now, if we go down towards market view, this is what gives us the real-time view. This is why we see a B instead of a C minus in this area, because we can see here that for this pocket, there are 6 listings with a median list price of $405K, which is pretty high. As we saw previously, Cleveland is going for about $130K. So although prices may have been around this 2 years ago, because we have real-time data, we can actually see that these prices have risen. And such, we can also look at metrics like price to rent ratio, median price per square foot. So now we've been able to go through the maps to help identify where could be a great area to invest. And you could really invest in any of these classes. It really just depends on your risk tolerance as well as how experienced of an investor you are. So in this example, I'm going to pretend I'm brand new to Cleveland and I'm going to look for a turnkey property. So here I'm going to select turnkey strategy. And thus, we're prioritizing different things like removing fixer uppers since you're looking to rent out the property from day one, and prioritizing other attributes like cash on cash. Here we have a top pick. We can briefly look at this property and we could see where it is in the map. We could see it's in the right hand corner. We can also just kind of browse around. Maybe this one's a little more preferable because it's in an area that is deemed to be slightly better. So I'm going to click this property to learn a little bit more. Here we have 3441 Wade Ave, Cleveland, Ohio, being listed for $150,000. And here we're recommending a turnkey strategy based upon the metrics. So here we could see that the rent estimated is $1914. We can go down to rent comps and look at these values even more closer. So here we could see distance as well. We could see when these properties were built and a similarity score. Let's say that we feel like this property is very similar to, say, maybe these three. We could then adjust our rents. So the median here is about $1,400. So let's imagine we want to adjust our rent here to $1,400. We will then see how our cash on cash changes. Here it's about break even, which isn't what we want to see. We usually want to see at least break even. So let's go over to purchase. Here we can toggle with the slider to see at what price would the deal work. So here, getting about 3.5% cash on cash would be an offer price of around $123K. So we could then look at sale estimates as well to then validate what price we can maybe offer for this property. We can also see information on different strategies like house hack. And if we felt that there needed to be any work done, we could also look at BRRRR and fix and flip. What changes for house hack is now the rent looks different. We are now calculating rent based upon the bedroom, looking at HUD data sources, so a government data source. So assuming that we're living in one of the bedrooms, here's our estimated rent on what we could charge on the other three. We could see in this scenario that if we were to house hack the property, we would completely cover our expenses and even make a profit. I hope this has been a useful guide to start to understand how you could use data as well as free resources like Gemini and our Streamlit app to better understand a market. And also remember that once you use data analytics, that last part of actually closing on the deal, you want to make sure you have boots on the ground. Whether you visit the property or you have a trusted individual like an agent or a contractor to help you along the way. Let us know below what city you want to see next. Thanks.